Hey Cancer, this month is a very impactful and important one. We have a lunar eclipse, Mercury is retrograde, Jupiter's entering into a new sign. There's a lot that is happening, and I really felt like when I was connecting with your energy, I needed to come into your reading differently than I've come into the other signs so far. And so we're going to talk about all of that in just a moment, but I really feel like connecting with the energy, I feel like there's just so much heaviness right now. There's so much density right now. And you have no idea how much your luck is about to change. I really, really feel that. And I don't even have a specific example, but I'm just getting the sense of like a story where it's like someone has been going through a very hard time. They've had a very hard chapter in their life. And then all of a sudden, something just incredible happens to them. And it completely changes the way that they look at the world around them. And it's like a complete paradigm shift. I'm feeling like that might be happening for some of you in the month of May. So if you've been going through a very challenging time and it feels like there is no end in sight, or this is just how things are always going to be, change happens. Change is inevitable. And that includes the things that are painful. You know, everything is temporary, including our suffering. And so if you've been in a really heavy place or just really, really burnt out and you're like, I don't know how I'm going forward, I don't know how my life is going to get better, I feel so stuck, things will change. And you're going to look back and you're going to be kind of in awe, and it's almost going to be surreal how real this stuckness felt. I did pull some animal cards for you as well. I have the buffalo, and that's kind of that slow, steady energy. And at the same time, it's like a very spiritual energy. It's very grounded spirituality. And even though there's this storm that's happening behind the buffalo, there's still this kind of forward-facing gaze. You just have to keep going and have faith, have trust. And we have the crow here as well. So again, another very spiritual and psychic card, actually. It's really important that you pay attention to your intuition this month, Cancer. And I know that the energy feels pretty heavy, especially with Mercury retrograde in the sign of Taurus. You might be feeling really disconnected from people. And it's interesting because crows do travel in flocks or murders of crows. And it feels like you're actually manifesting people who understand you, people who get you. That's something that is going to be happening for you in May. And I feel like there's like a spiritual community or spiritual relationships that you are building with people. You're connecting on that level. Or it's important for you to connect on that level and to seek out those connections because we do have free will. And if you don't know where to begin, just open your heart. Ask the universe, I feel like I need these connections. I don't know how to make this happen. Please help me find a way. Help me find my people. That feels really, really important. And with Mercury retrograde right now, in Taurus in particular, it's like very slow energy overall because Taurus is so slow and steady. And with Mercury retrograde, it can almost feel like things are coming to a screeching halt. And I can even connect with that. I always feel like every time I do these reading for eclipses, they always come out later because the energy is just that much harder to tap into or to really connect with. And I feel like you kind of feel that too, especially being a Cancer, you're ruled by the moon. So whatever the moon is doing is very impactful for you. And again, this full moon lunar eclipse is happening during Mercury retrograde. So there's a lot of things that are very slow and it feels very heavy right now, but things are changing, particularly in the second half of May. I think this is actually a good time to kind of dive into some reading, really looking into the cards more, pull some tarot, talk about the astrology. If you're excited for this month's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification so you're always up to date with what's in the cards for you. For those of you who are brand new to this channel, my name is Michael, and I utilize tarot and tropical astrology to intuit monthly forecasts for your zodiac sign. For those of you who are ready for a deep dive, you can find links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions in the description of this video, as well as links for all of my other social media accounts. So as I'm shuffling the cards for you, Cancer, I was talking about this full moon eclipse that we have on the 5th. Now, the full moon eclipse is in Scorpio, which is a very intense full moon in general, and eclipses could be thought of as very potent lunar cycles. So having the moon in Scorpio is actually considered to be the fall of the moon. And that's because the sign of Scorpio brings a lot of transformation. It brings a lot of intensity. And we can resist transformation. It can bring endings, things that can be kind of scary to us as human beings, right? But there's a really important release that is happening around this time. And I apologize if I'm having a hard time getting all these words out, or if this is just really, really slow for you. This just feels like the energy I'm connecting with you, to be honest. It feels like a slow energy. It feels like a slow, steady flow. And also with Mercury retrograde, it can just be hard for me to get out these ideas, especially when I'm intuitively channeling things, or just kind of in flow with things. But yeah, the energy with this eclipse, it's hard, it's challenging. But there is a shift towards the middle of the month. We have Mercury going direct. It's moving forward again on the 14th. This is kind of the catch-up period. This is when we are realizing things we may have overlooked, or we're kind of getting on the same page. It can honestly be like one of the more chaotic parts of Mercury retrograde. But there are some beautiful things happening this month as well. We have Jupiter entering into Taurus on the 16th. And for you, this is very, very lucky because Taurus rules over your 11th house. The house of social networks, the house of communities, and also the way that the universe supports you at large. And very often the universe supports us by bringing us useful contacts or fated connections, being in the right place at the right time. There's a lot of synchronicity that happens for you when Jupiter is in the sign of Taurus, and it's actually going to be here for a year. So there are things that are starting or kind of rooting this month that are really going to be impacting you for quite a while. And we do have a new moon in Taurus on the 19th. Now, I was talking about how the moon is technically considered in its fall in Scorpio, right? So it's like we start off the month with this really intense lunar eclipse. It's actually the last lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So we're ending this cycle, and we have the new moon in Taurus. This is actually considered the exaltation of the moon, where the moon is most comfortable and can really flourish. It brings a lot of stability. And so even though there's a lot of disruptive energy or just this very uncomfortable kind of dense energy at the beginning of the month, we can really ground around the end of May or around the 16th to 19th. This is a really beautiful time to sort of integrate, to heal, to get back on our feet after having things be so shaken for us. And I really feel with this energy, there's a lot of blessings in disguise that's happening this month. And so even though things can feel really hard and feel like they're happening to you, I know it's cliche, but I feel like you're just coming into this month or coming out of this month realizing that things are actually happening in your favor. I haven't even looked at these tarot cards. Let's Let's get into this, Cancer. The first card I have for you is the Queen of Wands. And this is actually coming out in the past. And what's really interesting is I feel like this is actually another person's energy. This could be someone you were dating or a friend, specifically someone with a lot of Aries energy. And it kind of makes me feel like someone you might have had some sort of fling with or chemistry with, or kind of like a really fast friendship with. It feels like this person is in the past position because this is a relationship that you're no longer connecting with. And it feels like this person charmed you. Like this person was very enchanting to you. And this person was in your life almost to teach you how you could embody yourself more. Maybe this person is still in your life, but I kind of get the feeling that something burned hot and fast and they're no longer here. And maybe this person was even a bit selfish or self-centered. But actually this was sort of an invitation for you to be the same way. So that's really, that's interesting. You're going to have to let me know in the comments how that's resonating for you, because that feels like a really specific thing. And with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, this is kind of what you gained from this past energy. And it really does feel like this came from a person. It's like you wanted to shine. You were willing to even be a little sassy or a little feisty or confrontational for the first time. And with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, it's like you don't want to work behind the scenes anymore. You don't want to like hide. You want to be recognized. This is something that is happening in your soul or in your heart. You want this achievement. You want fulfillment with the Nine of Cups. That's something that's going to be very, very important for you. And I feel like there could be something creative with this Queen of Wands. And I feel like a challenge, especially in relationships with the Knight of Cups and the Six of Pentacles in reverse, you've always given this glow, this light to other people. And now it's like you're going to treat yourself how you want to make other people feel, if that makes any sense. I know that was a really confusing sentence. I hope that came out the right way. But like you try to make people feel good. Like they sparkle, like they're important. And people just kind of take that, Cancer, and I feel like you're giving yourself this energy. I feel like there's this thing with self-love that's really, really important. What else do we have for Cancer? Let's get a little more clarity here. Where is all of this leading? We have the Magician. You are becoming a very powerful manifester. And I think this is especially true when we have Jupiter entering into Taurus, because again, Jupiter brings expansion, it brings luck and opportunities. And in the sign of Taurus, this is really probably the best place to have Jupiter for you right now. Except maybe in your own sign, which will be in a couple years. So there could be this thing that's like starting to take off now, and in a couple of years, there's this peak, there's this zenith. But it's beginning now. And there's this opportunity that you are manifesting this month that is going to completely change your life. With the Ace of Wands, something that is very exciting, this spark, this passion. You are being reignited. And even though the Magician often is about manifestation, it's not just being idle. It's not just about writing things out or wishing for things to be different. It's also taking action towards these things. It's gathering the materials. Working in the physical world with all of the elements. You have what you need. And I feel like the element that might have been missing is the Ace of Wands. You're finding this fire, you're finding this spark, this passion. And again, this Queen of Wands, someone tried to show this to you. The universe tried to show you this through another person, and it was very hot. It was very fast energy. And it feels like this person, I literally just had this visual of like a person rushing past you and you're like knocked over and like you're on the ground and you don't even know what happened. And by the time you realize you fell, this person is already like in the next block away from you. So someone really knocked you on your ass, Cancer. I do have that sense. And it's funny because I don't even feel like you're heartbroken necessarily about it, as much as you're just completely perplexed by the situation. But there was this interaction and it catalyzed something in you. Any other messages for Cancer? Any other messages for Cancer? King of Swords and Knight of Swords, you need to speak up. And speak up for yourself. And just do the things you want to do. And it's like, taking calculated risks is how I am seeing these two cards together. Because I feel like there is an opportunity that you have to act very quickly on. Maybe that's this fast energy, Cancer, and it almost feels like, wait, this is happening too quickly. How can I trust this? How can I know I can trust this? Your intuition is spot on with the crow. And you might even be seeing crows, and that could be a sign from spirit that you need to pay attention to your intuition. Even if something feels very fast, you will know if it's right for you, and it's kind of like rushing towards something. So say yes to things. Say yes to life. Say yes to the things that excite you, even if they also scare you a little bit. Because often the things that excite us do scare us a little. I'm going to pull an oracle card for you as well. Any other messages for Cancer? Wow, okay, so we have the full moon in Capricorn. The end of a tough cycle approaches. I've been telling you this, Cancer, from the beginning of this reading. I feel like you've gone through a really hard period, and this card is just affirmation that this period is coming to an end. And we also have the new moon eclipse. Expect powerful change. This eclipse that is happening on May 5th is bringing an end to this challenging cycle. And what's actually interesting is that we do also have a full moon eclipse, a full moon in Cancer. Jesus, a full moon in Capricorn in your season, in Cancer season. And this is also going to signify a shift for you, a very profound period of transformation or change. Things are changing very quickly. And it's interesting because Capricorn energy is very slow. It's very heavy. It's very Saturnian in terms of the planets. And it's interesting that you've been going in this very slow, almost like in a daze or just kind of like in this monotonous sort of rhythm. And it was honestly like soul crushing. I really feel that. And now all of a sudden it's like honestly giving like manic pixie dream energy, like manic pixie dream girl, this sort of wild energy or person who just completely changes your life, or this opportunity that completely changes your life. And it like shakes you awake. And it's almost like, oh my God, I've been asleep. I've been asleep for years. I've been asleep for so long. Now things are changing. You're waking up to something. Is there anything else? I feel like there's one more Moonology card for you. I'm going to shuffle again, but I did get the message, your commitment is being tested. That's actually like what I was saying. You are going to need to commit to something. You're going to need to commit to your dream. There's going to be an opportunity, and it feels like it comes out of nowhere, but actually it's been like a really long thing coming, and you don't know if you should commit to it or not, if you should say yes to something. Say yes, Cancer. Say yes. Are there any other messages? New moon in Sagittarius, luck is on your side. Yes, yes, yes. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Say yes. Say yes to this. Don't let worry be something that holds you back. You know, because even if something kind of goes horribly wrong, at least it's an interesting story. God, I'm a Sagittarius moon. Maybe that's awful advice. But really, like, what is the worst that could happen versus, like, what could you gain by just saying yes, by putting yourself out there, by taking risks, by just going towards the thing you want to do, taking a calculated leap of faith? Yeah, I think this is actually the perfect place to stop. I do hope that this was helpful, Cancer. Please be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification. It does help this channel. It really helps me continue putting out these messages. I super appreciate it. And for those of you who feel so called, there is also a link for donations in the description box down below, only if that feels resonant. You can also find links for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions. You're also free to watch any of these other videos for your moon or maybe rising sign. And I will see you all next time. Take care, Cancer. Have a happy and blessed May. I'm sending all my love your way.